But let's talk about House of the Dragon. Let's make me happy.
Yes, I agree. Let's talk about House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, and 3. So we'll give our scores again for these, and then talk about our overall thoughts, and then get into spoilers. This is going to be pretty easy, and these may be a little inflated because I've been watching them, like, along with The Acolyte, and it's just such a better show.
Seriously.
I give all 3 episodes a 9. I've been loving it. I'm glad it's back. It's been really good. There's been surprises. There's been like overhaul of how I thought things would go. It's been a lot of fun watching. Yeah, I'm just excited for the rest of the season. I love this show and I'm so glad it's back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gave episode 1 and 2 a 9 and episode 3 an 8.
Okay.
Still loved it, but episode 1 and 2 just for me had a little more intensity.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I agree with you. The writing, I mean, like you said, maybe it's because we're watching Acolyte.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like half the scenes, there's like no music. It's just pure dialogue, pure talking and acting and intensity, like with no music. The first 2 episodes, there's the certain scenes, which you obviously probably know what I'm talking about, it's just so intense, man. Like the writing, the suspense, the acting, the special effects, everything about the show. And like you said, I don't know if it's because we're watching Acolyte, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually like a well freaking written show. Like,
yeah, I agree.
It took me a few, like 30 or so minutes in the first episode to get back in the rhythm. Because, Game of Thrones is the kind of show where you have to kind of get in the rhythm of it.
Yep, you got to remember everything that's happened, who everybody is. Yeah, I feel that too.
But, like, after I started getting back into, like, the rhythm of the show, like, dude, I can't say anything else till spoilers. But yeah, 9, a 9, and an 8 out of 10 for me.
All right. Well, let's get into spoilers because there's a lot to talk about and there's a lot of names. So I don't know if I'll be able in this one to keep track.
I was going to say, I need to depend on, I was going to tell you, I'm bad with names. And so I'm horrible with this show.
Yeah, this show's tough for even me and I'm pretty good with names. So yeah, we'll see how I do. I'll probably be Googling some things. So yeah, if I stop talking, I'm probably looking up a name. So spoiler alerts for episodes 1 through 3 of season 2. So episode 1.
Yeah, it was kind of it kind of had Rhaenyra, I don't know, the queen going off and kind of mourning her son, trying to look for the body and stuff.
Yep. I will say, I think the best acting performances of the season so far have been by Rhaenyra. She's a really good actor, I feel like.
I agree. He's the queen, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. She's been excellent. You can see the despair in her eyes. Like, it's sad. Like, I don't know. I have kids, and I'm just saying, like, even if you don't have kids, obviously, but, like, I have kids, so, like, I even seeing, like, the end of the first episode, I'm like, my God, that is brutal.
Yeah, that was so brutal. And making her choose.
I know. Like, God. And can you, like, that poor little boy. He's just a little boy.
Yeah.
Like, God. That whole last, like, 15 minutes was so intense. Like, them sneaking into the castle. And that's kind of why I think episode 1 and 2 are elevated for me, is because, like, episode 3 didn't have, like, that scene like episode 1 and 2 had.
Yeah, it had an intense, like, character-driven scene between Rhaenyra.
Which is a great scene.
But it is different, for sure. It is a great scene. But, yeah, it's not as, like, action or...
Yeah, or like
jaw-dropping.
Atmospheric kind of, like, I don't know, like when they were kind of invading that castle, like the music, it just had like intense, like,
yeah,
and it was raining out, and the atmosphere and the intensity, and that was
not quite
so
sure
good.
What's gonna happen. Yeah, I was pretty sure because they were sent to kill Aemond. I was like, it's not Daemon. Daemon is the one who sent them. It's Aemond. So you just switch around a few letters.
Oh, okay, I'll remember that now. Aemond and Daemon. Okay.
Yeah, so Daemon sent them to kill Aemond, but then they couldn't find Aemond, so they found someone else with the same color hair, and there's 2 of them, and they make the mother choose which one to kill, and it's just like...
It had to be a boy.
Yep, man, that's just... I can't imagine having to choose that. That's horrible.
And I was just thinking, like, God, this little boy, could you imagine just waking up and like that, and then boom, that was intense, man. And then...
And I can imagine you having a little boy like that. Oh yeah, that probably impacted you even more.
Yeah. I like, because you put yourself in that situation, like when you're thinking, and it's like, God. So, Aemond is
Aemond.
The guy.
Yep.
Is the son of the other girl. Who's the king's mother? What's her name? The redhead.
Alicent.
Okay. So that's Alicent's kid, along with the king is Alicent's kid. You know, I actually think that the kid who plays the king has been doing a good job too.
Yeah. One scene with him and Laris just kind of, I think, totally shows how much better of writing the show has than like Acolyte. So at one point in episode 3, the king has decided he's going to war. He's going to fly out and meet with these armies. And like everybody on his council was like, you shouldn't do that. That's too dangerous. We need you here. And no one can get through to him. And then later on in the episode, Laris walks up to him, totally like unassuming, and just says like one thing. And he's like, they're saying you're like running away or something. And like he just knows exactly the right
your
string
mother's
to pull.
planned so Aemon could become king while you're gone and die. Pretty much, yeah.
He just knows what to hit and to get exactly what he wants. And like you can just see everybody else is totally inept at that compared to this guy. And I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. He's what, the whisperer for the king?
Yeah, Master of Whispers.
Now he said he wanted him to be the Master of Whispers for him. Yeah.
Basically Littlefinger's position.
One of the other performances, actually they're all good, but another one that stands out for me is the Hand. The guy who plays the Hand. Well, he did play the Hand.
Otto Hightower, yes. He was the lizard in Spider-Man.
That's right.
I love that actor. He's great.
He did excellent, or doing excellent.
Yeah. Yep. I'm sure he'll be back in some capacity, doing something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, cause he's, I thought, I mean, like you kind of mentioned, all the actors have been so good. Like, I'm watching this and acting like you said, at the same time. And it's like, I know we keep saying it, but like, this looks, it's amazing. It is such good writing.
And good performances. Yep.
And good performances and the scheming.
Coherent storylines. Yep. Scheming.
Yeah, it's so good. And it's funny because, like, and you could probably agree, like, after the last season of Game of Thrones, like, I feel like I was so burnt out, like, I'm done, like, it kind of ruined it for me. But, man, this show, it hooked me back in.
Yeah, for sure. I think going earlier and learning more about something we already knew a little bit about was a really good idea.
Yeah, kind of bring the spark of the love back for Game of Thrones, and then you could start, like, maybe telling future stories. Yeah, what else happened in episode 1? So, I mean, that was the main gist of it. It was a lot of kind of fallout from the finale of season 1. Who would you say is your favorite character?
That's a tough one. I don't know. I feel like it changes episode to episode.
It is a hard question.
Maybe it's just because of the performance, but I really like Rhaenyra's character too. I feel like she's gotten screwed over, but she's still like a good person and tries to do what's best. And even in episode 3, like she knows she's the only one that can try and stop this war. So she sneaks into the enemy's place and like tries to, like, that's ballsy. That's doing what you think is right.
Yeah, she was great in episode 3.
Yeah, she was great. Maybe that's just because that's the most recent thing. But yeah, I like her character a lot.
Yeah, I could agree with that. They're all so interesting. Like I know from season 1, like Daemon was probably my most interesting character.
Yeah.
Or the most interesting character to me. He hasn't been given much this season so far. I mean, the last episode, I guess he has. What I like about Daemon, he's a little unhinged too, where, I don't know, like, is he trying to run for the throne now too and build his own army?
It almost feels like it. And that's what he was doing most of season 1. So that would make sense.
So now there's kind of like 3 of them going at it. You know, obviously, what's his face? The king, and now Daemon?
I just don't know if he would betray Rhaenyra now or not, because I can't tell how real their like relationship is.
Either.
I don't know. Which
I can't either.
Interesting writing.
Like, is he just telling himself he's going to take over, but then at the end of the day, he's still going to do it for her? And he's just kind of playing the part, playing house till then, getting, like, kind of feeling it, in the moment. Or I don't know. It is interesting.
Yeah. Or he could pretend long enough to actually start to feel something for Rhaenyra. And, like, that's what I like about Daemon is I feel like you don't know exactly what he's thinking or what he's going to do next.
He's definitely kind of like the, I don't know. What should I reference? Yeah, like the wild card, like, I'm trying to think of another show character. I don't know if you ever watched Lost, but like the Sawyer, but kind of like the bad boy, but like he's good at heart, but like you don't know which direction he can go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. They're all kind of, it is a hard question. I think I agree with you though. Like, I think Rhaenyra, is that her name?
Rhaenyra. Rhaenys is the older one who also got passed over.
That's right. Yeah, Rhaenyra. Yeah, I think I agree with you. She for how much crap she's been given, I mean, let's be real, she is the good guy of the series. Like, I don't know, at least right now, like the Jon Snow kind of, like, she really did have, if I remember correctly,
she has the best claim.
Like, she's not lying.
Yeah, it's interesting because in episode 3, neither of them are lying. They're both telling what they believe is the truth. Alicent seriously thought she heard him say Aegon referencing her son and that he wanted him to be king, but it was just like she didn't understand what he was saying because, I mean, he was dying. He was kind of incoherent. But if she would have just told Rhaenyra that before just doing it, then it could have been cleared up. But I thought that was really interesting where there's a misunderstanding here, but neither of them are lying.
That like you said, good freaking writing. So with episode 2, what elevated that too was, I mean, again, I think the last like 15, 20 minutes.
Yes. Okay, let me do...
Yeah, do it.
I think this, I'm going to try and make this my last reference to the Acolyte versus this, but this one has pretty common
the twins
things in this. Yes. This is how you do a twin fight or a twin scene.
Uh-huh.
There are stakes, brutal ending, like you don't know what's going on. And it's not like you have to, they're like standing there and waiting for someone to be like, oh, who's the good one?
Oh, yes.
One wins, and then you wait for a second, and you're like, which one won? And then he kills himself so that they don't have to make the decision or figure out.
Yes.
And he is also probably feeling shame that his brother did that. And like, it's just, there's so many things going on, and there's real stakes, and it's so good. Whereas the Acolyte, it's like the Spider-Man pointing meme. It feels like
literally. So it's true. I didn't even think about that. Actually, you're right. We're watching 2 shows that do this twin switch type thing.
Yeah.
At the same time. And you're right. Yeah, and again, I was worried. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna do it. Again, I was worried at this show too. Like, they're gonna do it. They're not gonna know which one it is, and they're not gonna trust him. And then they he does it. He kills himself.
Yep. He's like, you don't have to worry, I'll do it. Boom.
And that fight scene again was intense.
It was great. I like how, like, right at the beginning, they get tangled up and we're like, okay, I don't know who to root for, but this looks awesome.
Again, like, it had that kind of vibe of the first episode ending, where, like, infiltrating the castle and trying to take someone out. I think I still liked, like, the episode 1 more, but this was still like great. Like I loved it. And then what happened after that? Because the episode continued after that.
That's when I think Otto gets dismissed as the Hand of the King.
Oh, that's right. That was a great freaking scene too. And this is what I'm talking about when, like, there's no music playing. It's just the actors, the dialogue, the weight of the scene. It's not some crazy action. That was such a good scene.
It was. And also one of the worst appointments of all time. There are 2 characters that I don't really care about. I feel like they just make silly decisions for their own benefit, and that is Alicent tends to do that, and Sir Criston tends to do that. And he is such a petty little punk. Like, the fact that Rhaenyra said no one time, and now he's just like cussing her out, calling her the bitch queen, and like, it's like, oh man, way to hold a grudge. Yeah. Jeez.
Not only that, but like sending Sir
Eric.
Yeah, sending the twin to like murder her.
Yep.
Because they were like, weren't they like love interests in season 1?
Yep. And then she went off with the sea snake's son.
Yes,
and
that's right.
Said no to him, and then he immediately turned around, got together with Alicent, and hates Rhaenyra now.
It's like, dude, I understand you're heartbroken, but kill her? You never really cared for her then.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember liking him in season 1.
I did too.
But you're right. In this season, he's a little petty. And I know, like, Alicent, they're having like their little love thing. I mean, she's pissed off at him now, right? Got her dad like off the council.
And also the fact that it feels like he doesn't know what to do as Hand of the King.
No, I mean, he's just a soldier.
There's one point during that meeting where he's just sitting there and everybody's like, is he going to say anything?
Yeah. I understand the king, the actor, I don't even know his name.
Aegon
the Conqueror.
That's a different Aegon. That's who Alicent, mixes Aegon, the current king, up with.
I understand him. He's young. He wants battles. He wants answers. And I totally understand his perspective, right? Like, he's pissed. Like, his son got freaking his head cut off.
How do you deal with that?
Yeah. And like, so he's pissed off at the Hand, or his grandfather being like, we need to put them to use this. He's like, no, I'm not going to put my son through that. Like, I'm going to, like, I totally understand his head being like messed up right now. I mean, I even put myself in his situation, and like, realistically, I would like to say I'd like to do the smart thing, but I would be like him. Like, what are you guys are just talking. I want action. We see what they did. Like, we saw what they did. What is there to talk about? So I totally like understand him, but Sir Christian or whatever, like you said, like, come on, dude. I know, like, you're older, you're more mature, you should know this stuff. You're like a soldier. And I think he's using, the king's anger to that. I mean, I don't know if he's doing it purposely, but like, he knows that he's going to listen to him because he wants action. The king wants action.
Right. I like how in episode 3, like, so many people gave him crap about his plan with Sir Eric. Like, 2 or 3 people were like, yeah, that was dumb. Why did you do that?
It was good. And then in episode 3, there was also that scene where Allison's brother came and wanted to join. So they're planning on attacking. Where are they planning on attacking? Do you remember?
I can't remember the name of it.
Isn't it are they attacking where Damon is?
Yeah, I think so.
Or at least in that direction? I don't remember specifics.
I think is it Harrenhal? I think Harrenhal is where he is. I think that's where they want to attack.
All I know is I remember them mentioning Damon's in the path.
Yeah.
Or like that's where Damon is. Something about Damon where that's where soldiers are heading. Anyways, Allison's brother comes and joins him, and I thought that scene was actually funny. He's like, I'm going in all cocky and stuff. Because, the army's trying to hide in the woods and stuff from the dragons flying by.
That was a cool scene, by the way.
That was a cool scene. And I was just cracking up because he's all cocky, like, no, I think we'll be fine in. And then the dragon comes and attacks him to get the force. And he's all like crying and scared. And
yep.
I was like, oh, I'm not so cocky now.
Yeah, I loved seeing the dragon.
All the dragon scenes are awesome.
Yeah, very cool. One scene, it's in episode 3 where Rhaenyra is saying, like, we shouldn't use the dragons to attack. And she basically is talking about the dragons as, like, atomic bombs like we have. It's like they should be used as a deterrent, because if we use them, it's going to be mutually assured destruction. And that's literally what the point of our atomic weapons are right now, is like, if you have one, no one else can nuke you because you can nuke them back. If you have a dragon, no other dragon can attack.
The fear should be enough.
Yeah, it's putting off people from attacking you, especially with other dragons, because then you're just both going to destroy each other so much that it's not worth it. Yeah,
what you say, like, if we start attacking dragons, it's like we're destroying ourselves. That was interesting. And because her council is kind of going against her. Like, we need to take action. We need to fight. Actually, on both sides, a lot of people are like, just like, do something.
That Sylvie character is interesting. She was there in season 1, but more interacting with Daemon. But I kind of like how she's more siding with Rhaenyra now and is going to be part of her council or something.
Almost like her own little whisper.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, she was interesting, and I liked how they used that, again, a smart thing where they kind of foreshadowed it. Like, she kind of sensed that wasn't the right twin, because she had seen the other twin. And so, like, that's how the other twin got there in time to save the queen. So, like, little things like that made it make sense.
Rhaenyra was, like, asking her why she came back, and I forget the exact quote, but she's like, you're the only one in power who has shown mercy, and I feel like I should support that, or something along those lines.
Oh, yeah, because she said, Rhaenyra is like, why didn't you leave? And she's like, because you let me leave. Like, that's why.
Yeah, like, she stayed true to her word. She showed mercy. She could have just killed her and gotten what she wanted or whatever, but that's a good way to build trust, especially with a Master of Whispers who's not always that trustworthy.
Seriously. And I did like how Rhaenyra sent her other younger sons away.
Another sad scene that she nailed.
And it totally makes sense why she'd do that. So many just little scenes.
So she sends away the sons with 4 dragon eggs. Are those the dragon eggs that what's-her-name gets?
Daenerys.
Yeah.
I was wondering that too, because they're leaving Westeros, right?
Yeah, and she gets 3 of them though, right? So they sent 4,
3.
I think.
Well, they sent 4 eggs and 2 dragons, like, that are already alive, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, she only got 3 eggs, so I wondered that too, because that's how the eggs could have gotten out there.
Yep. That's pretty cool, like, connecting it. And there's little stuff like that I feel like I can't catch because it's just been so long. Like, I feel like I hear names like Tarly. I'm like, is that Sam's great-grandfather or whatever?
All the Tullys or whatever,
Yeah, Tully, Lannister, yeah.
Even when they went at the beginning of, episode 1 or 2 where they went to the wall?
Yeah. Saw some Starks.
Yeah, Starks. Yeah, I thought that was... I'm always a sucker for some Starks, man. I think every Game of Thrones fans love the Starks, right? And the wall and all.
Yeah, that was cool to see.
I kind of like, it's cool because, like, we obviously, well, it's cool, like, because we know what happens, but obviously what happens isn't that great. But you know what I mean, the whole scheme of the show. Because, like, they're not, like, the wall isn't focused on, obviously, at all in the series. And I don't think it will be, right? Like,
no, I don't think so.
Like, I think you'll get maybe a glimpse like that, but I don't think they'll ever show, like, a White Walker or anything.
No, definitely not.
So, which is fine.
That prophecy is about as close as it's going to get.
Yeah, like you said, like little Easter eggs like that kind of just like, I'm sure there's so much more that we aren't recognizing.
Yeah, I'm sure I missed so many.
This for sure is the shows we've talked about today is my number one.
Yep. Same.
It's on another level, man.
Absolutely.
I cannot wait to talk about it weekly so we can kind of dig into it a little more.
Are there 10 episodes in this season also? Or I forget how many. Let me look up how many episodes.
I don't even think there's 10 of them last season, was there?
Was it 8? This season 2? Yeah, I think there's 8 episodes.
I think it's 8 episodes.
In season 1. Yeah, season 2's 8. Oh, season 1 had 10.
Oh, so these are short. It's a shorter season.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess so. They're still
That's
really long
interesting.
episodes.
They are. I mean, they've all been over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I can't wait to talk about them weekly so we can kind of dig into the individual episode more.
Yep, theorize more about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we
But
went through everything today and we're caught back up.
back on track this next week. When does this show air? On Sundays?
Sundays, yeah.
Okay.
So it'll air
Okay, cool.
tomorrow. So we'll have that one to talk about next Sunday.
Yep. That's perfect, right before the new one comes out. Sweet.